I love my husband, I love my husband, I love my husband, I love my husband, I love my husband. I love my husband. Y'all. Babe! Babe! Where are you? There's the guilty character right there. The one who is responsible. Babe. I feel obligated to mention, for those of you that don't know Terry and I, that this is not the way I speak to my husband. But this is our normal banter, so to speak. But also Terry's reaction was purely genuine. How many times I've asked you not to cut that bush on the back deck? So for context, guys, our family vehicle, well, one of our family vehicles was in the shop, and so they called and said it was ready, and I was coming out of the door to get into the vehicle to go pick it up, and I saw the bush. And Terry got in the car and he was like, I told you I need adult supervision when I'm out here doing this stuff. I was like, I was coming, doggone it, oh, there's my baby. There's my car. There she is. Yay. I know this is a really different way for us to start our videos, but if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, you will already understand fully what's going on. The following clips take place 24 hours after the initial clips that you just watched. Please enjoy. Well, it's the next day because things got out of control yesterday, so I'm gonna take these in and figure out how to do something with them. Okay, so the cool thing is that a lot of these branches were not actually cut already. They survived. But since I'm already having to deal with the ones that are cut, I am gonna go ahead and just collect all of them. But I'm going to deal with the mess that I just put in the kitchen first. Okay. Yeah, I know there's spiders in there, and I'm already just I'm not feeling this already. Okay, I got my big girl pants on. Here we go. Okay, so got my, just really quick, if you watched the prequel to this video, then you know what happened and why we're having to, or why I am doing this right now when I still have a bunch of grapes that somebody tell me how I had on 2 different pairs of earrings all day, and I didn't realize it until I went to bed and took them off. Like, come on. As well, but we're gonna be doing this today. And I'm looking at the berries. They don't seem to have any visual decomposition. The ones that have been sitting overnight. It's not been a full, yes, it has been a full 24 hours. Yeah. So I just brought all the limbs in. They're what I just showed you in the previous cut. And immediately a couple of those flying wood roaches flew off, and so I killed them, and I started looking for any more because I do not want that in my house. So but that area back there is very wooded, and so I don't use the back door for that reason. I can't stand, well, mostly I can't stand for them to fly on me or something, and I just get the creepies. And so you know how I feel about bugs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and work on getting these off. I'm just gonna be using technique that I saw from other videos online, and as I'm doing this, I'm gonna really be meditating on what it is that I want to use these for. I thought about making a simple syrup and just canning it up and having it to use for potential drinks in the future, to add to our kombuchas, to make ginger soda out of. I'm understanding that the flavor is very, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to taste one. So tiny. It smells great. They do have a slight sweetness to them. The texture is odd, kind of like raspberry apple saucy. It's interesting. So considering that, I think I am going to go back to what I just said. I'm going to go ahead and maybe make up some simple syrup to just have on hand to use for the kombucha, you know, whenever we don't have other fresh produce in season, and we can use that to make sodas and to make our kombucha, to flavor our kombucha. But also I may, depending on how much is left, because in order to make your jam outside of the pectin, that's all you're making really, is you're making a syrup. You're boiling it down, you're straining the seeds out in the skin, and then you're just taking that beautiful liquid and you're adding the pectin to it to make your jam. So I could take some roselle or some lemon or both and kind of create a interesting mix when it comes to flavoring some jams and syrups. And it's just really cool to be able to have that option from things that are growing naturally on the homestead. We do nothing to this. Well, normally we do nothing to this bush. It just grows back there. And I still haven't yet to check the second one that's out at the edge of our property to see how it's doing. But I don't know if the squirrels, obviously the squirrels don't like it because, well, that's kind of close to the porch. I don't think they'd come that close. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna angle the camera down so that you can kind of just see what I'm doing, and we're gonna listen to some nice music as I work on this.
Let the harvest work begin.
It's been coming up like sun above. It's making us come together. Been making plans and joining hands. Come by me, stand and come together. When they know we've had enough, they'll try.
You can see that these here, these are at the top of the branch. They mature from the bottom up. And so the ones at the top tend to be smaller and they're not as red. And so, oh, look at that nastiness. You see that? You see that nastiness? And I like these too. Of course they do.
We're starting up something. We're starting up something.
Into trash. There you go. Okay. So yeah, those lighter ones we're not gonna deal with.
When we don't speak, but they don't see us come together. Behind closed doors, we choose love, not war. It's at our core when we come together. They will hear.
All right, and there we have it. I am done with my portion. I am now going to put Brian on harvesting the leaf. Because the berries can be a little more tender, I wanted to do that myself. Now I'm going to have Brian work on removing the leaves, and we're going to get those washed up and start around in the dehydrator tonight. Now there's many uses for the leaves, but what I really want to do is just want to make sure I have them preserved, and then that way later on when I have time I can get back to experimenting with the flavor of it for teas, and then I will also have it on hand to make mosquito repellent should I decide to go that route as well. I'm still doing a little bit more research on the tea as far as ingesting it, because a lot of the sources that I've read have said that the roots, the stems, the berries, the leaves, everything is non-toxic. But there's not a lot of information about using it as a tea. So lots of research still to do. But that is going to be it for tonight. Thanks for watching.
Spoiler alert. Ha ha ha. I did not get around to these that night, and so a lot of them have already like dried in the bucket, which is cool. So, but they never got washed. So I'm gonna go ahead, transfer them over to this clean bin. I'm gonna give them a good wash, and I'm gonna spin them out. I'm only gonna do enough that I can do in a dehydrator at one time. It's not a whole lot. Alright, so that's probably enough. So I'm gonna give those a good wash with some vinegar and water, and then I'm gonna spin them dry and put them in the dehydrator for probably just like an hour or two. Probably an hour, and then just check them and see where we're at. And then at that point, they'll be ready to be processed, to be put into mason jars, and then we'll suction those closed for storage, and then they'll be ready for our experiments over the winter.